The New York Attorney General launched an investigation into Donald Trump after Michael Cohen, his former attorney, testified before the U.S. Congress saying that Trump had manipulated values on documents that he had submitted to various places, including financial institutions. One of the properties where some of that manipulation had happened was 40 Wall Street. So the Trump organization for years lied about 40 Wall Street. In fact, they're still lying about 40 Wall Street. If you go on to the Trump organization's website and look to see how tall 40 Wall Street is, they'll tell you that it's more stories than it actually is. If you look to see how many square feet it is, they'll say that it's larger than it actually is. And certainly if you were to ask the Trump organization how valuable it was, they would tell you that it's far more valuable than it actually is. This is a really, really valuable building. We estimate that it's worth about $211 million. But the Trump organization at various points was valuing it, and with the help of others, it wasn't just them, at over $500 million, using sort of twisted math that allows you to get to those numbers. So 40 Wall Street, also known as the Trump Building, is a 63-story skyscraper in Lower Manhattan. It has about 1.1 million square feet. But Donald Trump got involved with it in about 1995 and updated it and has filled it up with a bunch of sort of small, investment shops and legal firms and that sort of thing. 40 Wall Street, when Donald Trump got involved with it, was basically a disaster. The building had been empty for a long time, or at least largely empty. A couple of other developers had come along and seen this enormous building and saw a lot of potential, but weren't ultimately able to make much out of it. Donald Trump, to his credit, bought it for almost nothing. He says $1.3 million. It's right around that figure. And now we think it's worth $211 million. So this was a heck of an investment. Now, it didn't just happen with the snap of his fingers. He had to invest over $100 million into rehabbing the building. But look, it's been a great deal for him. The trick is that recently, the building's finances have started to take a little bit of a downward turn. He doesn't look like he's gonna get this enormous windfall that it appeared that he would get at one point. So Donald Trump lied to Forbes and other media organizations at the same time that he was allegedly lying to all of these banks. And if you talk to people inside the Trump organization, including Michael Cohen, whose testimony sparked this entire investigation, they'll tell you that this was all part of one concerted effort. That basically, if he lied to Forbes, then he could use the Forbes valuations to help support the numbers that he was saying to banks. And if he convinced banks and lenders, then he could use those valuations to help prop up his numbers on the Forbes list. So it was all part of one concerted effort. So any way that he could, he was using bits of information to try to push the values higher, certainly in his conversations with Forbes and, according to the Attorney General, also in his communications with lending institutions. The Attorney General has now filed a lawsuit. As part of that lawsuit, she's hoping to inflict all sorts of pain on Trump and the Trump organization. The big dollar number is that they're hoping to disgorge $250 million from the Trump organization. Now remember, the Trump organization is just Donald Trump. So that would be money coming out of his own pocket. That would be damaging to him. He could afford it. Right now, we estimate that he has $375 million in cash, but it would certainly limit the sorts of things that he could do with his business. It would mean that he would have to be much more careful with new opportunities that he could pursue. He couldn't, for instance, dump $200 million into Truth Social, the new social media app that he's developing, and then still have $250 million to hand over to authorities. So it would constrain him in certain ways, and it also would just be a massive blow against his ego, as just the filing of the lawsuit has been. Now he has officials saying in court documents that he's lied about his net worth for years. That's an embarrassing thing for Donald Trump. And as it continues to evolve and they respond to the lawsuit and the process sort of works its way out, there's going to be more talk of all of this, more evidence displayed, and that will continue to be embarrassing for Trump, in addition to being financially harmful.